Hi, I'm Heinbach, and this is box number 1. This is box number 2. Box number 3 is the heaviest of them all. Whew. What I have here is an instrument that I'm incredibly excited to have in my studio. It was designed by the legendary Harald Bode. Let's have a look. This was manufactured until the 1960s, and by the looks of it, this box looks pretty fine and new. I think this should be just the box for it. Oh, what a nice pattern. Look at that. That's a pretty psychedelic pattern. Here we go. That's the keyboard part of the Jörgensen Tuttivox. Oh, there's a loose tube in here. I will have to open this up. Let's do a repair before we do anything else. Remove the cage. Okay, these two have fallen out. Okay. Oh, here's the screw missing. I think we have to reseat all of these. There's been some restoration going on here, I can see that. I've read that this is supposed to have 36 oscillators. I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Which would make more sense. 1 for each key, and then use divide down technology to get the subdivisions. So I'm guessing that information is debunked. There's a ton of misinformation on these instruments. It's all we can do to try and clean it up on this channel, even if that involves buying them and taking them apart. Oh, so here's a loose cable next to the lever, which I'm gonna need to fix. Good enough. Let's look at the amp part, which should be in this box. Oh, I'm scared. With all the rattling, I'm rather crestfallen about our chances that this instrument will work. Okay, so that's the rattling. It's these beautiful big tubes. There's some broken plastic in here. I wonder if the tubes are okay. The whole thing here got knocked loose. I'm really doubting this will work. Okay, we have humming. Tubes are coming to life. Big hum. Okay, turn that off. That might be because there's nothing connected to it. Put this in. And then we start again. If it does the horrible sound again, we'll quit. Tubes are lighting. We've got sound. Woo! Oh my god. Stuck note. Let's clear that stuck note, and then I think we're in business. Oh my god, what a great piece of engineering. Survived, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 years. So I've taken off the back panel here of the keyboard, which looks slightly discolored. Oof. But let's get to the key that's stuck, which is this one.
These are all bouncing back, this one isn't.
You might have realized on video earlier, but this key doesn't even fit here. It's the wrong key for this instrument. Look at it. Similar, but very different. So I fixed the key, which doesn't quite fit. So the person who installed this, which I'm guessing is a Clavioline key, installed a little wire. But that wire is not as springy as these things. So yeah, after some time, it just got stuck. I'm sadly lacking the stand for this instrument. So I put it on this accordion stand here, which is kind of funky, but it works for now at least. If you're not using a stand, this was supposed to be mounted underneath a piano. The previous owner sent me a list of the restorations that were done with this instrument, as well as the schematics. That should help in getting this back up to shape 100%. The main source of grief with this instrument can come from damage to the circuit boards. Those are made from Pertinax, and that gets brittle after time. As with many early electronic instruments, misinformation about the Tuttivox abounds. But that's to be expected. There wasn't much documentation being done. There was a confusing amount of instruments that shared very similar names, and especially Clavioline-like instruments are easy to mix up. So for the background information, I rely on 3 sources. Tom Rear's Electronic Perspectives, a rather fantastic book about early electronic instruments. Between Mass Media, Entertainment Electronics and Experimental Music, Harald Bode's Melochords in the Intersection of Many Interests by Elina Ungeheuer and Oliver Wiener. And the Harald Bode Archiv at ZKM in Karlsruhe. According to these sources, the Tuttivox was made in 1953 and produced up until the 1960s. It comes from a line of instruments that saw Bode moving from the experimental designs such as the pre-war Wabo Formant organ and the Melodium, as well as the first post-war European electronic instrument, the Melochord, which was famously one of the first instruments installed in the WDR Studio Cologne and played by composers such as Giorgi Ligeti. These were small series made-to-order instruments, and he was looking for something to sell. So he developed the polychord and the Bode organ. These were instruments aimed at churches. After the Second World War, many churches were bombed out, and replacing a pipe organ can be very costly. An electronic organ could potentially be an interesting replacement. Bode demoed his organ to interested church officials, but when he started playing jazz to show what else it can do, they left. That was not the thing that they wanted to hear from an organ. The German company Jörgensen, for whom Bode developed the Tuttivox, did not even try to market it to churches. They called it a cinema and jazz organ to be played at secular functions like the circus, propaganda institutes, and hot clubs. By that time, Bode had become frustrated with the German market. There's nothing going on in Europe. America is the soil for me. Every chance to get there must be used. Bode left for the United States, where he worked on electronic organs for Estley and Wurlitzer Company. But his experimental spirit never left him, and it was his own company that would have the most lasting impact. The Bode Electronics Company built the audio system synthesizer in 1960. This was a precursor to the modular synthesizer. This and the concepts of transistorized modular music machines Bode held lectures on fell on fertile ground in the 1960s and led to inventors like Paulo Kettoft and Buchla and Robert Moog to create the synthesizers that we know today. There's more to the Bode story, and I'll cover it hopefully in other videos as I get to work with more of his inventions. Let's have a look at the functions of the Tuttivox. We've got the keyboard up top, and here's the sound controlling engine. It's divided by organ feet. We've got 16, 8, and 4 feet here, and these are different filters. I don't have a manual for this at this moment, so I'm gonna go by guesswork. But if I switch in this, get this. Pretty straightforward. But we can also switch in filtered versions of that signal. So we need to 16, add filter. Seems to be some kind of high pass. Then here, next. Only very slight difference, might not work as it is intended to, but of course you're supposed to do combinations. So. Ah, okay. So they do work. Let's put all the feet together. So let's see what this does. Oh! Vibrato. This one here. That's brightness. This one. Maybe bass. So this seems to be a tone controller. And to the side here, volume. Oh. Filthy. I gotta make a track immediately from that sound. That was fun. I was surprised how much variation I could get out of this instrument by playing the swell for these guitar-like chops, and then how vowely it can become in the singing part. The sonic possibilities remain kind of limited, but I noticed there's a jack here, so maybe that's an audio out so that we could use effects. It is amazing to have an instrument that Bode created, even though this is more of an adaption. This is basically a polyphonic version of Clément Martin's Clavioline. It is a commercial instrument as compared to his more experimental designs, where his true ambition seemed to lie. I still hope to work with some of his earlier designs, but the chances for that are not great, because from what I read, most of them were scrapped for parts or destroyed, or they're in a museum where they're not being turned on. But never say never. If you have a lead, do let me know. As usual, you'll find music and a sample pack of this instrument waiting on my Patreon. Thanks for your support there. That's the reason I can make these videos. Any more ideas or questions, do leave them in the comments below or visit the Hainbach subreddit. Thank you all for watching. I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye.